Welcome to the Geek 2.0 podcast. This is episode 1, your source for all things within the geeky parenting sphere. I'm Josh.
I'm Joe.
And now in this episode, we're going to be discussing what we're all about and a couple other interesting things with kids and coding, Microsoft, and all sorts of geeky stuff.
Yeah.
So Joe, why don't you go ahead and start us out with basically, what is it you do?
Oh, well, I am a full-time geek. I am an IT guy for an IT company.
And I like long walks on the beach and candlelight dinners.
I can vouch.
No, I'm also in the IT field within another company as well, dealing with the health insurance. Ooh, spooky. But basically, we're both parents.
Mm-hmm.
We're one half of a pair. Not together, but separately.
I've got a 3-month-old.
And I have a 6 months going on a 16, or 6 years going on a 16-year-old.
He wishes it was 6 months.
Yeah, so I can get more sleep and don't worry about doors. So basically what we're going to do on the podcast, we're just going to go through what everyone has to deal with, like parenting in the geeky world. It's like, do you take your kids out to go see Star Wars? Do you worry about what other people think? Don't worry about it. Because geek is, or nerd culture is now the norm.
Being a geek and raising your kids as such. Anything you see, items, shows, toy, just anything. Anything geek.
So basically on this episode, we're going to be talking about the YouTube generation. Where when we grew up, we didn't have YouTube. We would just watch Saturday morning cartoons, down a full box of cereal, 2 gallons of milk.
Yep. If you got really desperate, there was always PBS.
And maybe some water if you ran out of milk. But basically, the kids nowadays, growing up, man, I sound old. Kids these days.
Hate to bring it to you, but you are old now.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Well, yeah, they're all growing up on the YouTube generation where all they do is watch YouTube. And basically, YouTube is just a cliff of okay videos, and then you have your really sketchy ones. What do? Do you sit there watch some of these horrible videos that they enjoy, but you're just sitting there saying, I want my 2 minutes back, my 30 minutes back, please.
It's definitely a tough one. I mean, I know that they do have, the parenting side of YouTube where you can restrict certain items, but it's up to the publisher to notate whether there's stuff in their video that should be restricted. But on the flip side of that coin, there is more than just the YouTube. There's also Netflix. And you got your Netflix Kids section. It's just not going to have quite the same impact that YouTube does, because YouTube's going to have more of everything that they want, whereas Netflix is more of your Saturday morning cartoons.
Well, it's more like YouTube it caters to the average person. I mean, you have, I forget the name of it, but 7 Perfect Angels. That's my daughter watches it all the time. They do little crazy skits, or they do like pretty much like actual episodes with plot line, multi-episode arc, and she sits there and she'll spend hours just watching these things.
The thing that kills me though about YouTube, for example, we put on Baby Einstein for our little one. Mm-hmm. Trying to get ready in the morning, we'll put her in a bouncer and we'll put on Baby Einstein just so at least there's some colors and shapes and music, keep her somewhat entertained for at most 15-20 minutes.
Right.
But the problem is the videos themselves are only 5-10 minutes depending. Mm-hmm. Then you get the advertisements, and because we're not doing this on a computer, we're doing this through the TV, either Roku or Xbox or the Vizio, whatever type of TV you've got. So we don't have. It's not as easy to set up a skip or something like that, and we're not investing in YouTube Red.
That's what I was going to mention, is the YouTube Red.
Yeah.
I love YouTube Red. I hate the pre-roll ads. the 30 seconds or even 60 seconds now, notice them. So I don't have to deal with that.
Which is
And the Google
fine.
Music is good too, because that's for me.
I'm not, we have Spotify, so I have no use for Google Music. And it's one of those, what kills me about it is the ads aren't specific to what it is that you're watching.
Right.
So, like I was saying, we'll have Baby Einstein on, and the next thing you know, we'll get some, ad for some type of car advertisement or something, and it's really loud and obnoxious. And if our little one started dozing off during Baby Einstein, all of a sudden
it's like, what? I'm awake.
Yeah, and it shakes her awake. And we're like, crap, now we got to wait 4 or 5 seconds, and hopefully we can skip this one.
Well, yeah, or you get watching like Good Mythical Morning, and all of a sudden, if the pre-roll ad is a condom advertisement, and you're like, do I really want to have that discussion at 8 o'clock in the morning, what a condom is?
Or the latest horror movie or something. There's just... I'm surprised. I'm guessing it's probably something that will change in the future. I'm sure enough people will talk about it and complain about it. But I'm surprised that it wasn't more thought put into it in the beginning of maybe showing ads that are at least somewhat within the field.
Relevant to what comes before or after it.
Because I know you can tag YouTube videos, and there's obvious content restrictions, and there's licensing restrictions, and yes, they may not be perfect. They don't necessarily catch it as soon as you upload it, but they do catch the stuff eventually. So why not have the same kind of concept? If you're already looking at it from a licensing or a content restriction, why not also look at it from an advertising as far as this should not fall under this category?
Right. We're different. Okay, you have a genre of kids. Oh, let's have more kid-orientated advertisements.
Even if it's toys. Like, yes, it sucks for the parents.
Because now we got to go out Toys R Us and buy $8,000 worth of this stuff, whatever it is.
But I would much rather deal with that than the kid getting scared the crap out of when you're trying to play a video before bedtime and the newest horror movie comes on. It's a jump scare.
Yeah.
And now you've got to stay up all night because they're scared of whatever it is that they just saw.
The new Alien movie, the trailer for that. And all of a sudden, you're having to stay up late because, hey, your kid's not going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Or they wake up. But yeah, it's basically I like YouTube Red. I hate advertisement. That's why we cut the cord many years ago. I couldn't stand that anymore with having to sit there for, 2 up to 6 minutes of commercials per break. YouTube Red, I love it. We're not sponsored by it, but El Googs.
Not yet. We haven't cut the cord just yet. I've been having that conversation with my wife for the past, I'd say easy year or two now. It's when it's something you've grown up on.
It's night and day.
Oh, yeah.
But come to the cord-free land.
It's more on her side, and it's something she's grown up on. And it's just the thought of not being able to turn on a TV and flip through channels to see what's on is odd. To think about it and to go, what do I want to watch?
Yeah, appointment viewing.
Yeah.
Instead of whatever I want to watch, when I want to watch.
Correct. It's a little... It's not a concept. She grasps it. She's okay with it. She's just not comfortable enough to make that leap yet. She's getting there, though. She is getting there.
Someday soon we'll get her over to the right side.
But I have a feeling that things will be changing as our daughter grows up. More for the same thing as what you're going through, because that is... She's going to watch YouTube. She's going to watch all these on demand.
And she doesn't really watch Netflix all that much. It's basically in the morning after she gets dressed. Sometimes before she gets dressed, she watches YouTube. And all right, get dressed. Come on. No, all right, let's turn off the TV. And that's a whole other story. But yeah, it's basically, and there's also apps for YouTube Kids. It's more streamlined for kids. Programming, like the videos are more kid oriented.
But isn't that more on the computer or on the phone?
Actually, on phone. Yeah, it's an app on the phone or tablet.
So if you have a TV or computer or Xbox, you don't have that feature.
Not yet.
Fair
or unless you do a Chromecast or it's on, I don't know if it's on Apple TV. I'm not sure yet. I haven't looked.
I don't know. Not an Apple guy here.
Okay. Actually, I have a foot in both. I was a long time Android devotee,
Fancy.
rooting and ramming. And just one day I was like, you know what, I'll just decide how the other side lives.
That's fair.
So I joined the Apple cult.
I have a feeling that I will have to, either myself or my wife will have to get an Apple, because as our daughter gets older and she's going to want a phone, we're going to need to make sure that we understand how those phone and features work.
Yeah, and
so nothing can be hidden from us.
Yeah, there's good and bad on both sides, Android and iOS. But speaking of the software and operating systems, basically in the last week, or actually this past week, Microsoft actually started up a new type of initiative where they're geared more into the education sector, where Apple has pretty much given up on that. Where when we were growing up, you'd have in all the classrooms and libraries of Apple IIs, or I forget, Macintosh. It's some kind of Apple computer where we played Oregon Trail, Tetris, and a couple things like that.
I don't remember when I was little. I don't remember what the Apple was at that time. The last I remember was in college, and that was when they had the color-coded all-in-one monitor computer.
Oh, that was...
I can't think of what it was because I'm not an Apple guy,
iMac, I think it was. It was the...
I think those were the tablets, like the computers that were kind of like...
Well, it was like the candy...
Yeah, but like they had the oranges and the blues and the towers that went with it and stuff like that. Like they had, but that was when it was those series, which are now old and antiquated.
Yeah, you can find them in a museum.
Speaking of that, actually, to kind of go slightly off topic, not that long ago, we were in D.C. It was probably maybe about 6 months, a year ago. And we went to the American History Museum in D.C. Well, you want to feel old? To look at some of the technology that they have in the museum, and you're like, I still have this in my house now. And it's in the museum as, because things change, obviously. But
look what our archaeologists found on a dig recently.
They have the Motorola Razr.
The what?
The Motorola Razr.
I still have mine.
Yeah, so do I.
I got the red one.
Yeah, I've got black. Yeah, it's in the American...
Daughter plays with it.
It's in the American History Museum.
Well, it was a good phone.
It was a good phone.
It was almost indestructible. You dropped it, and the back metal case, the little door comes flying off, battery goes out. You brush off the dirt, blow it out, put everything back together, and it still works.
But, that on that subject of old, antiquated, yeah, it's crazy to see that stuff that's in a museum now, and you're like, that wasn't that long ago.
No, you used to play with that. It's like, oh, this is the best. Look at these 16-bit graphics. Yeah. Man, you can almost see the character.
Now they've got an Oregon Trail card game.
Yeah, I saw that. I forget, it's on Reddit or something. I saw that. So I think about getting that. But I think you can also buy the game, the actual game, either in the Android or Apple Store.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, he died of dysentery.
All right, we're getting off subject here.
But no, it's no biggie. We'll do that no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it's basically Microsoft has released their Microsoft Windows 10S, where it's like a streamlined version of the Windows 10 for their new lineup of cheap Chromebook killer laptops, where they might not be good, but you can get a laptop for I think it was $190.
That's not bad.
Which I have a Chromebook sitting here. I paid roughly about the same price. But it works off internet only.
Oh.
So, well, they do have some offline. I can write on Google Docs and stuff like that. Or it syncs up if I get back on Wi-Fi or something.
But see, for something like that, for example, I've got the new Galaxy S8.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
They have an attachment for this phone that's a monitor or keyboard.
Oh, yeah, the Samsung DeX.
Yeah, you plug it into and you've now got your laptop. To me, that's more efficient and more easier to use than buying an entire separate laptop.
Well, that goes with
needs
everything.
the same, but you still need an internet connection for it to work. It's just like your phone, but your phone's already got it built in. To me, why invest in that?
Well, with the new Microsoft, the Windows 10s lineup, is it has actual apps. Like you'll have Office 365, you'll have whatever you can download to it, and whatever's on the Windows Store, you can install it onto your cheap laptop.
Okay.
They also added off their new laptop, their $2,000 or $1,000 top of the line model, which is also nice.
It's always a top of the line.
Yeah, but they also with the Windows 10s is that they said you can upgrade it to the Pro version for free for the next year. So there's that option.
Okay. I don't know. I guess it just depends on where you want to put the money and the time.
Yeah, but the surprising thing is that Microsoft's actually like throwing themselves into the education market, where where Apple is basically where Google has been going in with their Chromebooks. It's like instead of all these schools paying for iPads at what $600-700 a pop per kid, you get a Chromebook for $200. Same thing that Microsoft is wanting to break into the market for, and they'll have a better foothold into the market because they have all their apps, their programs, Office, everything.
Well, I definitely, from a programming viewpoint, I definitely think that it's a good investment on the Microsoft, Google, hell, even Apple side for them to do, because there's definitely been quite the push for kids in programming and engineering and all that to get them interested and move forward with that. For example, with my little one on our baby registry, I couldn't help it. We registered. They have books out there that's HTML for babies or CSS for babies or JavaScript for babies. I registered for all three. And the ones that I didn't get, I bought because I wanted her to have it. What I did not realize with that, though, was the way it was advertised was it's teaching them extreme basics to get them used to what the coding looks like and the language and and all that stuff. So I thought it was going to be just very, very kind of generic. Well, when I finally got the books and opened it up, it's programmed.
Yeah, the book is in source code.
Yes. Was not expecting that. And my poor wife has no idea how to read this book to our child.
Yeah, because I'm looking at pictures where it's basically you have your div class and it's like, all right, then the ID, it's basically all the HTML.
Yeah. I think
it's written in HTML.
I think the picture that you have for the HTML one is the one about Smile.
Yeah.
So it's got the class of Smile, and then it's got an ID where it's got I'm trying to think. It's like
Go. No, that's what it says.
It says something. It's like kind of like where it's got like laugh, lips, teeth, like that kind of stuff. Like it's basically it breaks it down into categories, like you would when you're coding it. And you have your title, and then you have your descriptor, and then so on and so forth. But when you're reading that to a child, then yeah, there we go. The ID is smile, laugh, giggle, and then you got the class for lips, teeth, wiggle. It's made to rhyme like when you read it out that way, but when you're looking at it, when you've got your greater than, less than, and your backslashes and all that stuff mixed in with it, you're like, what?
Yeah, they're waiting for the book for Run Dig Run in sequel.
Yeah.
And I was also looking here, you got the web callers and a hexadecimal lift to flap book.
Yeah. So, I mean, it gets them used to seeing it, which is nice, but honestly, I don't know how much use she's really going to get out of this book.
It's just all the pretty shapes, colors for now.
Yeah.
She's not going to retain it. She's not going to all of a sudden be, when she turns 1, writing the new Facebook.
No. Wouldn't expect her to, but I was looking for it to be a little bit more generic, I guess. More pictures, put it that way. Where when you have your, with each section of it and what it represents, have your, I hate to use the word emojis, but have pictures to go along with it, so it's more so they can kind of understand this section you would put your graphic, this section you're going to put your title. This is, you know what I mean? And you can put your stuff around it in that sense. So it's just more, it's a fun book to look at it, and subliminally they're getting the programming side of it. And
where it's more understanding, for them. It's also easier because, as kids growing up, they retain, and especially there's just little sponges when they get older.
Oh, absolutely.
So stuff like this is awesome for kids growing up.
And then there's also, I didn't get it because it's a little expensive, and I don't blame anyone for not getting it for me because even I haven't bought it yet. But they have a thing called a Cotapillar, and it's a toy.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this.
No, I haven't.
It's really cool. It's basic, but it's really cool. And it's the same concept. It's supposed to teach them programming, or at least the mindset you use for programming and problem solving. Mm-hmm. And what it is you have the head of this caterpillar or Cotapillar, the head of it, and you attach modules and you make the caterpillar. Okay. But each module does something different. Turn left, turn right, go straight, stop.
Coding.
Yes, exactly. So you add on each module and you can make the caterpillar go wherever you want it to go. You set up an obstacle course and you set a start point and have it go, through the legs of a chair, something like that. So the kids have to think in a process.
Yeah, doing a critical thinking where...
Correct. Okay, it's going to take 3 pieces for it to go straight to get to the chair, and then a left piece to go left, and then another straight piece. And, and you build out, and it goes all the way around and does what you need. But it gets them in that logical kind of process-oriented mindset, which I think's awesome and really cool, but it's expensive.
Yeah, well... But it's for the kids.
Exactly.
Think of the children.
Isn't it always?
But yeah, it's like basically just trying to get them, instead of sitting on their butts, playing on the phones, texting and stuff, just to get them to do the critical thinking is what needs to be done.
It's interesting.
In a fun way.
Oh, absolutely. It has to be fun, or else they're just not going to
Where
enjoy it.
You can kind of trick them.
Yes.
And okay, here's your learning. But we're going to do it in a fun, interesting way without you thinking about that, I'm actually learning something.
Yeah.
Oh, this is stupid.
And then as they get older, then there's the toys like the Ruminate, which is basically kind of like a more childish, I guess, for lack of better words, version of Connects.
Okay.
Or, it's a bigger Legos. It's giant pieces. That's made for more architecture, engineering side, but it also has the programming side too. So you can put together, like, for example, a house. But in this house, you could set up, an elevator lift or an escalator or a windmill or however you want to do. So kind of in a Lego mindset, you build what you want to build. But then on top of it, they have an app for your phone or tablet where you can program certain items in that house or whatever it is that you build to move and make functions.
That's the awesome thing, where it gets different technologies together, where they're doing this and they're doing the critical thinking that, okay, let's work this out. How do I make this elevator go up and down? Mm-hmm. Well, and if I mess up, okay, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, and it's fun for them in the sense that they can build their little, in our case, we have girls, so they can build their little dollhouse, but then they can add little, if we wanted to challenge them, or even through their own inspiration, we can make them go, hey, do you want to, what about a garage door for their car to fit in?
Right.
Well, let's see if we can actually build and make a functioning garage door, and it teaches them, one, how to do it, how to put it together, the gears, the belts, and all that stuff. But then also the programming side. So when you hit the button on your phone, the garage door opens and they can pull in. But it also teaches them the architecture and structure, and balance. And we have to put it in place here in order for this to stabilize on this side. Like there's a lot of really neat functionality that they're not realizing that they're getting out of it. That absolutely.
And then they can utilize that when they get older.
Correct. But for me, what's interesting about all of this is that when we were kids, the drive was more, for almost in a sense, at least that I remember, and I could be wrong, but I remember it being the drive for information technology. Mm-hmm. Computers were the future.
Yeah,
so
that's how it was. Is we get the computer, of course. Making the mistake when learning is actually formatting the hard drive to our family computer.
Good old F disk.
Yeah. And realizing, okay, I can simply, I gotta install MS-DOS, getting the floppy drives, installing it without the parents knowing.
I used to love DOS. Now I can't remember anything from it.
It's one of those things like, okay, the C:\\/ is it or the CD back.
Yeah. Yep. It's oh God, used to be so good.
Yeah, the command shell is long gone now.
Yeah, they're getting rid of DOS and moving over to PowerShell now.
Well, it's also bringing Bash into Windows. It was all Linux command stuff.
Yes.
Which is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of people love it, but hey,
teach their own. Their own. So it's interesting to go. Back then, it was a push for computers.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, there's the push for engineers, scientists, programmers, developers. So it'll be interesting to see if it actually, is this how things work? Were we young enough at a point where we didn't realize that we were being pre-programmed for what our careers were going to be?
Being pushed.
Towards this. And now it's the same thing. The kids are being pushed. And what did we miss on? What were the pushes in between when we were a kid to now? Because things change. There's the waves of this generation, the next generation.
Yeah, because when we were growing up, it was what? Q Basic. So I remember looking at the magazine and writing a simple game, or pretty much copying the code out of the magazine as Q Basic. And it was one of those things where I got to work. Okay, cool. So you take the gorilla, throws the banana, and tries to hit the other gorilla. All right, well, so all of a sudden it just glitches out. I had to look through all these lines of code. Okay, what's going on? Oh, figuring out, okay, this is why I did it wrong.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what game it was that I was playing as a kid. I believe it was with you. But there was... Oh, man. The only thing I can really remember was that you got to this one part of the game, and there were these 3 robot heads, and one of them was lying, one of them told the truth, and one of them did both lied and told the truth, and you had to pick the right head to tell it to go left, right, up, down to solve a maze.
Yeah.
But I can't remember for the life of me what it was.
It was the island of Dr. Something. It's an old...
It's gonna bug you now.
Yeah, I'm going to search for it online because I know it's the island of Doctor, not Robotnik, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go looking for that.
But I remember playing that, and that kind of sticks with me because that was the same concept.
There's a puzzle game. It was basically putting it into a simple, easy that kids can do. Mm-hmm. That's not going to just bore them to tears or make them so frustrated they throw the mouse.
Yes. And then the other side of it, again, for when they're much older at this point, but I don't know if you've heard of Bitsbox.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay.
It's like, was it like Loot Crate?
Yes, yeah, it's a monthly subscription box.
Basically, you get a box full of all this stuff that you and your kids can all build or do stuff online or something where it educates.
Correct. It's each month is a theme. And it will basically, it does the same thing of coding, engineering, building. But I haven't seen anyone who's had it yet. So with any of your monthly subscription boxes, they're usually up and down. You know, some of them are good, some months are bad, or just the subscription in itself isn't really worth the investment.
Yeah, because it's what $20, $30 a month. It's similar to Loot Crate, probably.
$20 a month.
Yeah, $20 a month.
Yeah.
You don't get a shirt with it. Yeah. You don't get Funko Pops. But you know what? It's better because it's teaching. It's something that doesn't sit around on your desk and gather dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got quite the shelf of that myself. I don't know if it's, obviously I still have plenty of time in myself, but for you it's something that you could invest in now. But I don't know if it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's a gamble.
Because I know it's offers a lot of different subjects. Like it's STEM, or science, tech, education, engineering and math. Yeah. It's all different sorts of things in there. My daughter, she loves astronomy because every few days we'll go out in the back, we'll throw up the app and see, okay, where's the moon? Okay, where's this constellation?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So she'll sit there for a good half hour. It's like, oh, looking around on the phone. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's down below. It's on the other side of the Earth. Or looking at the Milky Way. And I'm thinking actually taking her to the Kennedy Space Center one day. that'd be an interesting experience for her. It's just one of those things like, okay, is she going to be enjoying it? Because kids are, especially
Flaky.
Yeah, they are flaky. They'll enjoy one thing for a week. Next week, it's something else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just flip flop back and forth.
Absolutely. So to me, it would be nice if there was some way of doing test runs of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they had
Like a free trial.
Correct.
Or do like a half price, coupon day.
Just, something along those lines. For the astronomy, have you tried taking her to the local Museum of Science and Industry that we have here?
No, we have not.
Okay.
Actually, no, I had to take that back. We did go to MOSI. That's the Museum of Science and Industry over in Tampa. And basically, she loved it because they also have a butterfly garden, and she loved that. She loves animals. She loves butterflies. We've been trying to do butterflies in the backyard.
Oh, good luck with that one.
Yeah, well, we got a couple caterpillars and stuff that we visit. But she loves a few things of the science that are interesting, especially how they have it geared more towards kids. It also helps. So I tried looking at a telescope, and the wife's like, do you really want to get that when she may use it for a night or two, and then it goes in a closet? I'm like, yeah, true. It's a good deal on what I was looking at, but
it's a tough gamble when you're looking at investing money in something.
Because you'll spend thousands of dollars on all this stuff, and they use it for a week or two, maybe a month at the most.
Well, and it's something that I've actually talked to my wife about, because all these things that we're talking about, my future is still yet to be written for my little one, and I have no clue, is she going to enjoy this kind of stuff? How do I
you don't know yet.
Yeah. I'm like, how do I get her to enjoy the stuff?
All she wants is food, clean diaper, and pick me up and sleep.
So it's like, how do I don't want to pressure her into this stuff because it's stuff I enjoy. I want her to actually enjoy it, but I want her to experience it with a true open mind and not think, oh, this isn't.
You gotta do this because I like it.
Yeah, so it's how do you get your little ones into that kind of world?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I watch a few things that I would think that would be all right for her to watch, but if she's interested, depends. It depends on what she wants to watch. So I tried getting her to watch like Avatar: The Last Airbender last year. She didn't really care for it. I love the show, but she didn't want to watch it. So she wanted to watch like Monster High or My Little Pony. All right. So we watched a couple seasons of that and the movies that came out afterwards.
Yeah, see, that's another thing.
And then she grew out of it. Same thing with the princess phase.
Oh.
Like, she does not enjoy Anna and Elsa. We were talking about this early before the show, is that she has a couple shirts that we're trying to give out to like Goodwill or just give to other people, and she had a Elsa shirt, and she just looks at it disgusted, like, "Ugh, get it away!" She runs off.
That's like I'm big. I love anime, real big in anime. So like I've also tried to think, how can I, because it's cartoons.
Yeah.
So it's
you can't go wrong.
Shouldn't be with anime. You
very okay. I'll take that back. Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, how do I get her into anime without going too extreme too quick? Like even some of the more episodic, easier to get into, like your Naruto's and your One Piece and Fairy Tail and stuff like that. Those are a lot of fun, but they still include, your fan service, and there's language and adult situations.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And it's so I'm looking at some of the more kid-friendly ones, but to me, they're not, even though they're anime, they're not really anime. Stuff like your Yu-Gi-Oh! And your Pokemon.
And she loves also Pokemon. She can go Pokemon Go every once in a while. She will sit there with the phone, battle, and of course waste all my Pokeballs. But yeah, it's one of those things where you're having to ease them into something. You don't want to be force them into this, because in their mind, they're thinking, okay, I have to do this, even though I don't love it. It makes my parents happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't enjoy it, and down the line, I'm going to resent my parents for making me do this.
Yeah, I don't want to end up on any talk shows because of forcing.
Yeah, Dr. Phil. It's like you said, it's a gamble. It's a risk. It's, of course, with anything in life, it's going to be like that.
Of course. But it's. I guess that's the best way of putting it. Just a deep sigh. So I know I would be interested, to anyone that may be listening to the show now or in the future, I'd be interested to hear your inputs. Anyone that has already had grown kids or is currently in the process with a fandom of their choosing that they enjoy, that their little ones have gotten into and enjoy. Be curious to hear how that came to be, what brought it to fruition, if you will.
Yeah, and if you have any ideas, something that you picked up to help your kids or other people that you knew or know that helped them to get your kids more in like a science or geeky kind of way of thinking and actually enjoying what they like to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, as we're coming up to the close of this show, why don't you go ahead and, Joe, give you any plugs or anything, like Twitter account, your Facebook, LinkedIn.
None. At this point, I think we're just gonna stick with the Geek 2.0 Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, which we will post within the notes.
Yeah, and all the links and everything that we talked about for like Big Box and everything we talked about is going to be in our show notes with links to the sites for helping you out as well.
Absolutely.
And helping me, because I want to take a look at the Bits box. Because I need some more. I need another subscription.
You just need that extra monthly expense.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and visit our website at geek20podcast.com, and also you can check us out on Facebook. It's going to be at the Geek 2.0 podcast, and Twitter at Geek20 podcast. And basically, I want you to go ahead and like us. Follow us. Join us.
Join the dogs.
Join us. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and go ahead, get this in your RSS feed on iTunes or on your podcasting app, and let us know what you think. We'll definitely would love to hear from all you guys and girls out there.
The more feedback we get, the better the show will get.
The better we get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I know this is probably going to be rough, but hey, it's the first episode. That's a pilot episode.
That's right.
All right, so thank you for listening to the Geek 2.0 podcast, and I hope you have a good day.